Hey Milwaukee Opera Theater and Virtual Voice Lab singers, my name is David Starry, and I'm here to talk a little bit about how you can optimize your audio for the next Virtual Voice Lab. So Jelena messaged me a couple of weeks ago, and she said that the first Virtual Voice Lab was a really great success, but that there were a few times where people's audio, particularly the backing tracks, couldn't be heard very well. I would guess that many of you are using a device like this, a portable Bluetooth speaker, for playing your backing tracks while you're singing. And I think that the distance between this device, whatever you're streaming with, if that's a cell phone, a tablet, a computer, and yourself, is going to make a huge difference on how we perceive that sound. So I think one of the best ways to check this is to put your cell phone up where your streaming device is going to be, and then take a quick recording of yourself singing along to that track. If you sound too loud and the backing track isn't loud enough, then this Bluetooth speaker or whatever you're using to play your music needs to be closer to your streaming voice. Now, on the other hand, if this is way too loud, then you can back it off. And somewhere here, you're going to find the perfect balance, which is going to give you the best balance between your voice and your backing track. Before we head over to a device to discuss settings, let's talk about what Zoom's doing to the audio in the first place. So Zoom is really built for speech, and it's really good at optimizing the sound that's coming through your device for speech. So, for example, it does its best to filter out any background sounds, like street noise, sirens, the sound of your refrigerator running, but most importantly, it's also going to try to filter out music. Often, what's happening when you're singing along to a song, but it turns out your audience doesn't hear you very well, is Zoom is actually trying to filter out that music and prioritize the voice so that you can be understood more easily. In fact, though, as we've all experienced, that's really doing the opposite of what you actually want. Okay, so there's a little bit of theory. Now let's go into the desktop application and figure out how we can change some of those things. Here we are in the Zoom application, and there are a few settings that we need to change here. So in the upper right-hand corner up here, you can see the gear button. Click that, that'll take you to your settings. And then a few things in here. So over here on the left, if we go down to audio, and click that. Now everything you see here is probably going to be different than what I have here, so don't worry too much about those things. But now, right below speaker and microphone where it says suppress background noise, we want to set that to low. We've got auto, low, medium, and high. We're going to set that to low, and Zoom actually helps us out here. They say, select the default noise suppression level, which is low, to optimize for music. Next, in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to go over to Advanced. In this Advanced tab, the first option you have is echo cancellation. You can either have auto or aggressive. Let's leave that on auto for right now. Then below it, you see Show in-meeting option to enable original sound from microphone. We're going to check that. Zoom tells us that this will turn off audio enhancements such as echo cancellation and noise suppression. And we've got a couple more options now. When original sound is enabled, we are going to disable echo cancellation. Yes, let's check that. And we're going to check this one that says high fidelity music mode. Now let's see what Zoom has to say about that one. It says, this optimizes Zoom audio for highest quality music. And that is exactly what we want. So with that, all of our audio settings here have been changed in the Zoom desktop application. Okay, there is one more thing we need to do when you're in an actual meeting. So let's pretend that I'm going to join a meeting here. And you see up here in the upper left-hand corner, we have this option that says turn on original sound. And we are going to check that. When it's blue, original sound is on. Basically what that means is it's taking the audio directly from your microphone and it's not doing any of the post-processing to it. Now after you're done singing, I would suggest that you actually turn off original sound. That way Zoom's going to go back to doing all of the background noise suppression and things like that, and it'll make it a lot less distracting for your colleagues as you go on to comment and just speak. And that's all you need to know about the desktop application. Now let's switch over to the mobile application. Okay, so now we're in the iPad application, and this is going to work similarly whether you're on an iPad, an iPhone, or even an Android device, because all of the mobile applications work pretty similarly. Down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a settings button. We're going to click that. Now this one looks a little bit different. So here we're actually going to click on meetings, which is your first option there. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you're going to get this option that says use original sound. And Zoom tells us that this will allow you to enable or disable original sound in a meeting. So this is the same thing that we did for original sound in the desktop application. Let's hit use original sound. Great. Now you got to do the same thing in this one that we did in the desktop application. So we'll go into a new meeting. And here in the upper right hand corner, we've got the ... more button. Go ahead and touch that. And then your third option down is enable original sound. Touch that. And it's going to do just what the desktop application did. Now when you're done singing, I'd suggest that you go back in and disable original sound, because then Zoom can go back to doing the noise suppression and things like that it was doing before. And that's it. That's everything you need to know for the mobile applications. Another thing to keep in mind is where you're actually located when you're singing. So for example, singers will often say that it's really great to sing in a bathroom or a stairwell because there's a ton of natural reverberation. For these kinds of Zoom calls, however, I would suggest that you pick the exact opposite. So if you've got a room that has less natural reverberation than other places in your house, I would try picking that one. So the big reason for this is because all of the natural reverberation in those spaces is really hard for Zoom to process, and your audio is probably going to turn out much less clear and maybe more muddy than it would otherwise. So pick the driest acoustic that you've got access to. Okay, those are all the tips I have for you today, but I have made some other YouTube videos on this subject matter, so go ahead and check those out if you're interested in learning some more. Have fun at the next Virtual Voice Lab. In bocca al lupo.